welcome back to another, whatever you want to call it. This is what we call React to the BBC. It's a new series, hopefully you enjoy it. Obviously up to you if you want to watch this series. Hi guys, I'm sorry if you can't hear me or whatever, and I'm so sorry I'm not showing my face today. I'm just not bothered. I just feel bleh. I don't know what to do. I just I just listened to the BBC Archive, not the YouTube channel BBC Archive, but I listened to this thing called Internet Archive, and I just select random rubbish from years ago, if that makes sense. So I have been listening to for Hobbit Month. This is just part one at the moment, so this is going to be just a confirmation video that you're going to watch for now, or just a recap sort of thing. So I finished 8 bits at the moment out of probably 17, not 17 but 17 pages or something, and it's to do with Lord of the Rings 1960, 70 something, and this is the BBC. I don't think it will be on BBC Sounds or whatever, but I imagine it's going to be somewhere like these or websites when they're just going to show random old stuff that's not really important for some people. So that's why they put it on Internet Archive. And if you want to see more Internet Archive stuff, I'll put in more links in the description. If you want to see more first, then you can put in the comments afterwards and see what you think of it for yourself and recap to me if you can. But though not much people do put comments. I'm not saying that you lot do not know how to do it. I'm so sorry if I'm speaking weirdly. I just had a smoothie, okay? It's nothing to do with Lord of the Rings, I know, but I'm just saying if I sound weird, that's why. Now I think this is really, really clever what they did. This is obviously a rubbish version of because this reminds me of audiobook. This is actually an audiobook, I know, but it sounds like one of those audiobooks that sounds all weird. Like some of the characters, as I so far, like when I think of Gandalf, I think of this really wise character that sounds old wise. Here he sounds old wise, but with, I want to say, Bilbo Baggins. I want to say it's, yeah, not Frodo, Bilbo. Bilbo by John Lee the Measurer, who's more famous for stuff like Dad's Army as Sergeant Wilson or stuff like that. He sounds more like a Gandalf character, more like a Bilbo character. But I think what they did for the BBC, they're just like, okay mate, could you just please do Gandalf first, and if you're rubbish at Gandalf, do Bilbo. And I think they got confused while saying that, because they should have said, okay, if you're not really good at Bilbo, do Gandalf. If you're not good at Gandalf, do Bilbo, or something like that. They changed it all around on accident. So that's why they stuck to this. And because they just done it immediately and they shoved it off to the BBC, I think it's just because they still got it wrong and then they had to do a new episode. And I know that really some TV shows and radios and films like that do change the actors because of whatever reason, but sometimes it's also the changing the actors into different parts with the same actors, if that makes sense. But that didn't happen yet. But this sounds low budget because you can definitely tell with there are some scenes I haven't listened to all of it, so I don't really know. But at the same time, when you listen to, let's say, the tapping of the water with hooves of these dark horses coming to the pub that I just finished at the moment, it actually sounds like hooves, and some of the dark, what do you call it, the dark nights or whatever, let's say, dark hoodie nights, they sound a little bit off. They not off because they're scary off, but they sound off like the actor can't really do a proper creepy voice, if that makes sense. He can't do a distorted, morbid, quiet, weird voice. And when I think of some characters that done this, it reminds me of the actual films from 2003 or something like that. So I'm just saying that with Sam, who played in loads of roles, he also played stuff like Stranger Things, The Goonies, that sort of Sam. Bilbo, Frodo's friend, Sam. This Sam sounds awfully like the 2000s Sam in Lord of the Rings. So I mean, like the film with the film that everybody knows. Let's say. Sorry about that. I'm just tired. So I want to say that these actors can't really do that good a job. But back in the day, they didn't listen to audiobooks or watch films of Lord of the Rings, I don't think. So they just their own little tiny version, see if that's what they think they sounded like in the books or whatever. Because this is based on a book, not based on a film. So I'm just, yeah. So yeah, I really did enjoy this so far. I'm up to the 8th track. I'm not sure that if all these tracks, I'm not sure this is chapters or part, and this is obviously parts, otherwise what's the point of calling it track 1, track 2, track 3, track 4, track 5, track 6, track 7 and track 8. So I'm not sure which one is what, if that makes sense. So which one's what? I know these are parts, but I'm not sure which one's the end of the chapter. I'm not sure which one's the end of the scene out of BBC 4, BBC 3 or 2 or 1 out of 1970 something. So I'm not really sure. But I do want to say the music's good. I haven't listened to all of it yet, as you can tell, because this is part 1 out of this compilation review video. So I'm not sure what else to say about it. But the music so far is good, and the soundtrack it's alright. It's not the best, but I don't know what else to say about it, and it's so sensitive. The thing is, I can't use my headphones because, yeah, I got headphones. Everybody's got headphones and inner ear bits and outer ear bits and stuff like that. But I'm just saying that it works. My headphones work, but I think, like, you know when you plug the stuff in your headphones, it doesn't work on my computer so far. So if you're thinking, why am I using some kind of weird Xbox controller, it's because of that. But yeah, I feel like this is really, really good. Like, I'm gonna listen to it for a while until I finish it, and then I'll just compilation it together as a review. But at the moment, this is really, really good, and some of it is. I know I said this before, but I know some of it is off. But because this is their sort of first time doing their own version of Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit and stuff like that. There was an American version of Bashki's radio version of Lord of the Rings as well. And when I keep on listening to this so far, it reminds me of that, and it reminds me of the films, and it reminds me of medieval fantasy stuff, and it's like heaven to me. Not saying that this is what. And I'm not saying that this is heaven. I did actually say this is heaven, but this is more like what you listen to the full sake. And so far, not so far, but in the middle of those tracks, I was nearly falling asleep, because that's how these sort of stories work so far. Because sometimes audiobooks to me doesn't fit well. I like listening to audiobooks because I can't read. There's nothing wrong with reading. There's nothing wrong with the spelling. But I just can't read books, you know what I mean? So that's why I do audiobooks. But what I'm trying to say is, this audio booky BBC thing from 1960 something, there's now transferred onto Internet Archive, that I will put in the links in the description. Fingers crossed, hopefully. But yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. Thank you very much for watching this part of this review video, and I will do more of this combination, hopefully. I'm not really sure, but thank you much for watching, and I'll see you in the next part of the video. I'm not sure. But yeah, I got nothing, and yeah, I just got nothing. I'm just fascinated why listening to some people's, I recognize some names of, but because I'm good at their faces, I'm not good with names, But because why I know John Lee Measure or something like that, It's because I used to watch Dad's Army a lot as a kid, so I know what he looks like. And sometimes when I listen to what do you call it? When I listen to can't think Bilbo's voice, I think of Sergeant Wilson. I don't know why, because I can see his face doing it. You know what I mean? So I can actually also see, because in the old days with BBC, they didn't just had a BBC studio, they just had a little tiny box with different people in it. I think that's what happens in 1960 something, I'm not really sure. But I imagine that's what they did and had to make all alternative DIY sound effects. They didn't had AI, or they didn't had CGI, they didn't had sound waves or something. Oh, they did have sound waves, because that's how they made stuff like BBC Doctor Who originally. They had this sort of sound machine to do that. So they did have some technology like that, but I don't think they had stuff that we have now. But this is, I appreciate this sort of thing, you know. I not appreciate like Wolf Bashki film appreciated. This is appreciated because I appreciate this more. I think it's probably because it's the BBC, not ABC or Fox Radio or something like that. I'm so sorry for being rude about Americans. I have no idea how it works, but because I'm not good with geography. But I just want to say this is good. This is really, really good so far. From listening 8 tracks so far from this thing, I'm not sure how it works. Like, I'm not sure how this is just little tiny parts. Something happened behind the scenes, guys. I'm so sorry if I just changed the subject for no reason. But these tracks, I'm not sure if these are just chapters in one and just split it up in different sort of bits for some internety reason, or is it just because that's how it originally was bit on this big ginormous wheel bit on the BBC archives? I don't really know. Not BBC archives like the YouTube BBC archives, but I'm thinking like where they store loads of films and radio stuff, to just shove it into this big ginormous round disc. Well, not disc, but more like tape things. So I think this is like, I'm not sure if these 8 minutes, 9 minutes, 8 minutes, 13 minutes, 7 minutes, 11 minutes, 5 minutes and 3 minutes and all that lot so far, it's just taped on a big round thing or something like that from the BBC, or did you just split it up in loads a bit? I'm not really sure. Sometimes I don't remember, or not remember, I don't even know which chapter is ended, because you have to guess which one it is, because what's the point of making a next video of this, you know what I mean, in one video? So I have no idea what, you know. But anyway, I find this really, really good for this bit. I can watch it any time, because this is not that important to follow the story, because you know how Lord of the Rings work. If you watch Lord of the Rings or you know of it, you know the basic of the story. You don't have to listen to all of it. You don't have. I'm not saying that you can't. I'm not saying you have to listen to random, not clips, random soundtracks of it, because it makes no sense. You have to listen to it in order. But what I'm trying to say is you don't have to listen to it in one day. You can listen to it the next day or the next week or something like that. Not the next month, because you'll just forget what happened. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying that you don't have. Don't just pick a random track and then press the last one and press the middle one, press the side one and stuff like that. Don't do that, because it makes no sense. But if you are into this sort of thing, like if you're into BBC stuff and you know of it, and you focus on it a lot with the BBC Radio, Lord of the Rings, you can do that. But because you haven't done this, listen to the BBC, and I don't think not much people in this generation listen to this version, let alone old BBC stuff or whatever. But I'm just saying that this is weird thinking you have to, you know. But what I'm trying to say is, please listen to it if you're a Lord of the Rings fan and you live in Britain, if that makes sense, or Ireland, or I don't know, Wales, Scotland sort of thing, Midlands, who cares? Literally, who cares about where you live in? It's major if you're into this sort of thing. That's what I mean. Not care, like I don't care about parts of the county and whatever. But I'm just saying that this is just awesome. Not awesome like Star Wars awesome, or I don't know, whatever awesome. This is more like I don't know, let's say Harry Hill awesome. It's not the most interesting thing ever, but it's fascinating. That's my sort of thing. You know, it's more like Harry Hills and not, I don't know, that is that sort of thing. It's not important, but it's not lame at the same time. It's not. And I know that's the same with some people thinking that's what Harry Hill is, and I can understand that. But this is good. This is really, really good. So I highly recommend it. I'm not going to show you the clip, the sounds, because of copyright claims, because you have no idea if this is copyright or everything's copyrighted. I know, but you're not sure if YouTube likes or not and stuff like that. So that's why I'm not showing you the clip. But I'm up to this one at the moment. If you can see that, because I might change the edit and just ramble on about different screenshots, if that makes sense. But anyway, thank you much for watching, and I'll see you next time in the next scene or whatever. Bye. Hi guys, this is the 3rd of January, sorry. So yeah, I have listened to the second bit, as you can see here. I done 9, 8, no, 9, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, blah 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 to 16 tracks. So I've just actually listened. I want to say that I listened to it at 3 o'clock to whatever o'clock. So now I think I want to say it's probably nearly. It's half. I don't know, something 1700 o'clock or something. So I just want to say yeah, it's complicated, but I don't know why, but every time I listen, I wasn't really focusing on this. I was focusing on other stuff, because what I do, this is what you're supposed to do when you're going to sleep. You know what I mean? Because that's what my brain works like. I like it when you listen to these sort of things. And if you saw the first bit, do you? But this of the first bit of the video, if it's part, I don't know how this video might work or whatever, but I really like this, and it's really hard to follow the voice acting, not the how they sound like, but it's hard to remember what actor is what, because you're used to the film versions, you're used to probably reading. I don't read the books, so I don't really know, but you're used to other versions of it. And I have listened sometime ago, I mean years ago, I don't know, some time ago, years ago, something like that. When I was listening to the Lion Witch and Wardrobe on audio thing, the Bob book, it wasn't an audio book, it was something like that. And the only thing that was probably sound the same was the BBC 80s, 90s. Let's say Jadis. Yeah, it is Jadis actually, but it actually sounded like the 80s version, BBC stuff for that. Lion Witch and Wardrobe, Jadis. In the BBC in the audio thing, but this audio thing hardly sounds like the movies, and hard because this is from. I know I said this is 60s, 70s, but this is actually came out in the 80s, according to my knowledge. Because when I say that, it's probably because I was searching up John Lee Ezra, or whatever his name is, who played Sergeant Wilson in Dad's Army, and he I want to say because I know it was probably yesterday I was listening to it, but today he's not in this at the moment, so I want to say he's either probably, what's his name, Bilbo Baggins or something like that, and you know, the one who has the wing and goes to the elves and stuff. I know this because I watched the films, and I'm not up to that yet. When I say that, and when I say yet, I'm not actually there yet with the story, because they're already off to. They finished the little tiny pub scene with the one of the people who sound like, I want to say sound like Hagrid out of Harry Potter. One fantasy film or something like that. Fantasy film, but I'm just picking names to make it easy for some people to understand who's who, because I'm not really good at names. I'm good with faces, but it's not good with this, because this is what, yeah, I don't know, but I like listening to this sort of thing, especially when you're tired and stuff like that. And the thing is, I don't know why, but I'm always tired recently. But there's actually a commercial where I live. I'm not sure if it's in other countries, but there's a commercial called For Him, but I'm not sure if I'm going to buy that product called For Him, because, but I think it's probably just a made up thing, I'm not sure, but I don't think I'm going to have that, but I'm going to have something for that, because I'm always tired. That's why I keep having different sort of things to make me awake more and stuff like that. It's not nothing to do with ego, although recently it's, yeah. So what I randomly, I don't know why, but at the BBC what day I recorded this, there was Planet of the Apes 1960 something, and you can tell it's 60s. Anyway, I like how in those sort of movies, not the Planet of the Apes movies, because that's the only one I saw, but anyway, they actually sound like a radio thing, because they don't sound, half the time when they talk, they sound like an audio radio story thing or adaptation from book years ago or something like that. They don't sound like a adventure, crime, drama, fantasy film. It actually does look like it, but that's the sound. That's the same with the sound of Lord of the Rings. It's like that. But yeah, what I was doing on my head with what it sounds like and looks like in my head, I can definitely see the actors and the characters, and if they're in a studio or something like that. I know they're not. Well, they're in the studio, but they're not in a, because nobody can see the actual plot, but they can see in their heads the story. But they don't have. They're not actually in a Lord of the Rings Hobbit studio. But they're definitely in the radio studio, if you know what I mean. Because I saw some pictures some time ago, yesterday, or today, or not today, but some time ago, after I'd done the previous part of the video, and they're actually in a, not in a box, but they're in a big room when they'd have loads of stuff, and it's not actually a little box in the 1950s, because I'm not good with history, you know what I mean, but hey ho. So yeah, this is what I think of this thing so far, and you can definitely tell it sounds like, but I don't know, but I do like it when it just makes me fall asleep, because that actually does work, because that's what happens with some people, because I think that's what people think of audiobooks. It's some kind of thing to make you settle down and tired, but back in the old days, everything was boring. As you can see, by 1950s, 19 to 1970 something, I don't know, not the mid-70s to now, times has been more interesting, but definitely like 1920s to early midi something 70s on TV or something, I don't know. It's boring. It's so slow. It's so, and I know that because I've been testing out or reacting to stuff on television, on BBC iPlayer or ITVX or YouTube or something about 60s television, how boring it is. So I can understand that. But this is not 70s and 60s though. This is 1980s. And it's really, really good how they make it into an old effect of the BBC or NBC or whatever. It sounds like a national broadcast. Well, BBC is a national broadcast. No stations around the world is a broadcast corporation. Is a national one. But I'm trying to say, anybody can listen to it. As you can see down here, loads of reviews about it down here. I'm not going to show you which is what, but as you can see, there's loads of reviews about it around the world, I think, because this is the website. So it's a website. A website is also known as national thingamabob globe thing. So it's a website, not just a certain site for certain countries, but sometimes I don't know how it works, but so that's what a website is. It's for loads of people. But yeah, what I'm trying to say is it sounds nationally. This radio, I know it's the BBC and it's only for the BBC at the time in 1980 something. It's weird because I thought when I think of 1980s in Britain especially, it's boring and cool. With other countries it's boring and cool in the 1980s, but you wouldn't imagine having Lord of the Rings in the BBC in the 80s. You'll think it probably came out in the 50s and 60s. That's my first time thinking about it, as you can see in the last bit of the video. Or I don't know how it worked, but what I'm trying to say previously, if you didn't have it, because some people just skip the video for some weird reason why, but in the last video I think I said somewhere around the lines of it's 60 something, and I'm wrong. I actually looked it up and it was 1980. If I'm wrong with my thing, well, I'm thick. But what I'm trying to say is it doesn't sound like a 80s then. It doesn't sound like a 60s. Well, it actually does sound like a 60s thing when I think about it, but it also doesn't sound, well, anyway, that's out of that way, so you know it's not that and it is that or something like that. But I can't concentrate with a character that sounds like the actual actor. And I can't concentrate on a character that I saw in the other films and other stuff like that. But I do like the fact that you can see in your mind's eye or something like that, that you can see them doing gestures and little tiny fiddling with your hands or talking or gisting around and stuff like that, and like talking to people in the pub. Hobbit scene before they go out to the elves castle thing when they see Gandalf and stuff like that. So you can, that's what I can see in my mind's eye, and it's really hard to also follow it, just because I'm really good with listening to things, but I'm not good at picturing it at the same time. But probably because that's, yeah. But I do like this. I really do like this. So my feedback, version 2 or whatever feedback, part 2, it's the same sort of thing as the last one. It hasn't really changed that much apart from the story, and you can definitely tell with some bits it doesn't make any sense, because, but I think what they did, I think they actually followed the book more than other real adaptations from the 1950s or something. Because when you think of some adaptations that you think, oh, this came out first when Disney started off, something like that, for example. But actually some versions that came out in the silent films, you know what I mean? But I don't know. But it's because when I imagine stuff like, when I imagine stuff with the black horses who wants the wing or something, I don't know how it works. Excuse me, if I change the subject, I'm so sorry. This, when I focus on some characters, especially the noises that sound all morbid, gothic, fantasy stuff, it not morbid, but you know what I mean, it sounds weird. Because morbid is more like death, but you know what I mean, if you know what morbid is. But what I'm trying to say is there's loads of different sort of things that I imagine that looks like the Wolf Basque one, because that's the latest thing I watched to do with Lord of the Rings. Not the one with the anime thing, because that's completely different. That's a prequel even before The Hobbit. So some kind of fandom book story thing to do with Lord of the Rings. It's even before The Hobbit. So I don't know what that was all about. So I'm not thinking about that, because that's nothing to do with Lord of the Rings. Because you know why? Because none of it makes any sense to do with Lord of the Rings. There's only twigs. There's only a trick. You know it. There's only small detail with Lord of the Rings, but it's nothing to do with Lord of the Rings. So that's why I'm not focusing on the last film I'm talking about. I focus on the last Lord of the Rings film I actually watched recently. Was Wolf Basque one on some kind of website to do with Lord of the Rings. I don't know. But the whole entire film, it's not some kind of dodgy website. I don't think anyway. But that's what I was thinking of. I can actually see, with some adaptations, as you do know, they mix it around a little bit with some talkings when they actually say at the very beginning, but not exactly at the very beginning, with some adaptations, but well, let alone this. So that's what I get confused with, and actually see the animation of Wolf Basque's Lord of the Rings. So not really that much, but I don't know. And sometimes I picture hearing the other ones from who knows what, from the 2000s, Warner Brothers, Lord of the Rings or something like that, who actually sounds like and looks like it at the same time. But it's just weird. But yeah, that's all I've got so far. Thank you much for watching this bit. I know I keep on going on around with rubbish. So this is apparently this came out. I'm not sure. There's loads of details if you want to go down here about it. If you want to see more, but obviously in the last bit of the video I did talk about go to the website link, but some people don't do that because they're thick. Well, they're not thick, but they're not bothered, and I don't care, and I can understand that. But anyway, so thank you very much for watching this bit. I know what I'm just going to tell you how much I'm going to do is because I need to do other things as well outside this rubbish. So these 2 pages here, these 2 pages here, or slides or sides or whatever. These 2 bits here, these 2 bits here, 2 bits here, 2 bits here, 2 bits here, and that's it. Or 1 bit there, or 1 bit here, if you can see. So yeah, it's really hard to focus on this and then go back to something else and go back to something else, then go back to something else in life. So it's going to be really hectic at the moment, and I do need to get some other videos done after this, and I need to do actual work. I need to do housework or something like that. So it's really hard to listen to this all day long, let's say. So thank you much for watching this bit. if she did already, because some people don't really care and are not bothered. And I can really understand that, because I watch random rubbish for like, why am I watching this when I'm supposed to be watching something else? So I can understand where you're getting at. But I think so anyway. But I don't know. I don't read. I don't mind. I don't read people's minds yet, so I don't really know. But thank you much for listening, and thank you for watching this bit. I'm stuttering now for some weird reason. Thank you for watching this bit, and I'll see you in the next one, or whatever. Hi guys, welcome back. I didn't put this in the video. I'm so sorry. I'm not sure whether this is like the beginning of the video or the end of the video. I don't care. So I just want to say, apparently it's the anniversary birthday thing of J.R.R. Tolkien, where I'm recording this. I'm not saying he's actually celebrated today. I think he's probably, his birthday being some time ago in, well, not some time ago, it's probably been, his birthday's probably been late December, early today-ish, or early January time, on the 3rd or 2nd or 1st of January. So, well, I'm recording this anyway, as you probably do know if you are watching this video. So yeah, I wanted to say thank you for whoever suggested. Nobody actually suggested it, but I suggested it, and nobody actually suggested it, but whatever. But I was just going and searching something up on my computer, and that came up. Okay, so that just came up with his celebration birthday thing, or maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just celebrated it some years ago, not years ago, but some months ago. Recently, where I'm recording this, when I'm recording this, so I'm so sorry if I didn't put this in the video that much, and you've probably put in the comments, hang on, you forgot his birthday or whatever, so, or hang on, you forgot about his birthday, why didn't you do it in the first place, yeah? So that's why I didn't do it, okay, I'm so sorry. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video, or I don't know, at the end of the video, hopefully you enjoyed this video if you just watched it all, or hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'm not sure where this is going to be, at the middle, the end, or the beginning, so I'm not sure, but I'm just saying I try my best to do videos like this. I'm not one of those YouTubers who just do interesting stuff. I do interesting stuff, but in a interesting way, fascinating way, not in a interesting, cool, awesome way. So that's what I do at the moment, until I have more interesting stuff when I'm probably 50 or 60 or something, until I have interesting stuff, and that's going to be long gone now. That's going to be a new update to YouTube, a new update to the internet video website or something like that. But I just want to say thank you much, not thank you, but whoever had that sort of idea to suggest and remind me, or not remind me, but just telling me about it, thank you, because, you know, I don't know why I'm telling you that, because the system of the computer just randomly done the news to me, you know what I mean? And I've not actually done much, what do you call it? I didn't do more. I'm so sorry if for some reason you can hear noise. Nobody knows how to shut it up. If you can probably hear that, just ignore it, because it's what you call the wealth. They don't listen to you. For some weird reason, people just, not just today and anywhere in my videos, but for some weird reason, people don't take things seriously, like J.R.R. Tolkien or stuff like that, with death. And, not death, but people who passed away, especially when you listen to ITV News or Sky News or whatever on the TV, or anything on the internet to do with news that is actually true, with death and stuff like that, with famous celebrities and stuff like that. They don't take it seriously anymore, that's the thing. So I especially when not ancient, but it's definitely like old people, like that nobody actually exists anymore, like J.R.R. Tolkien, who apparently died, or not apparently died, but apparently died years ago, because now I'm thinking about it, actually is years ago, otherwise he won't be, you know, but he actually celebrated his death, I want to say 30, probably 40, kind of 50 years ago. Celebrating sort of thing, so it can't be this year, obviously, because did he have the Holy Grail or something? How did he live that long? So I don't know, but thank you much for watching this video or whatever. I'm just putting it out there. He died celebration thing. He not actually died today or whatever. I don't think anyway. But yeah. So I just want to put it out there as to do with Lord of the Rings related. So thank you, Google or whatever. I don't know. Bye. Hi guys, welcome back to who cares. So yeah, this is the weirdest thing. Know this is a big gap for me since the last bit of the video, but the weirdest thing is I've done another video like this actual bit of the video like this, but I had to do some kind of a speaker thing because of the fact I got earbuds now, because I sadly wrecked some headphones with wireless. And anyway, so I wanted to review more of the Lord of the Rings thing, but because I've already said this often before behind the edit and it didn't really work, I'm so sorry if I didn't say more of this. So I have just want to say I will listen to all the other bits of the little tiny session track things of the sound audio book thing of the BBC archive, not archive, BBC archive, but the BBC archive, not the YouTube channel, but obviously, but as you can probably know, but you know what I mean. And the internet thing, the internet archive. And so I'm gonna obviously review. You could say review because I'll probably do a video later on about it, but I'm not really sure. Probably next year's not Narnia, but Lord of the Rings, Hobbit Month thing. So I will do more of this hopefully if I do remember it. But if I'm not, I'm so sorry. But so yeah, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hopefully listen to all of it over my life. Probably. The reason why I look different is just because of the fact I look different, and it's not a phase, but I'm into something at the moment. That's why my hair's all slicked back and stuff like that. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, I will do more of this, you know, review or listen to it over time and then talk about more of it if I do remember it, obviously. But I do like this. I really appreciate it. I'm not going to ignore it because it's boring, but I'm just conscious of the time, because I know it's a big gap between the 15th of January 2025 and whatever February-ish 2025. So I know it's a big gap, so it's no actual big schedule, but it is a schedule, and I got other things in my life that's really important, but not that important in my head than you guys watching my rubbish videos. I'm saying rubbish because people don't like my videos, if that makes sense. And I don't want to just waste my time just thinking this other video, this part of the video is just mooted because of the settings being so weird on my computer. I know I'm using a computer. I'm so sorry. But yeah, yeah, I do like this audiobook thing that I come across on BBC. I always say BBC Archive. It's a BBC Archive thing, but it's not a BBC Archive YouTube channel. BBC Archive. It's a internet thing that is just a random website that do with random stuff. And how I'm with all the reviews about it. The reviews that people just wrote down, not me, but people wrote down in the comment section on that website. So I'm not sure what their views are, but I imagine they say, oh, this is good, this is really good, this is really good, this is really good. But maybe they're just saying that and sadly, some people, are not all of them, but some people say that to wind me up. Not all of them, because I do know that some people actually are being nice to me, generally, on comments. But there are not much comments on there because nobody watches it. So why is there views? Why is there some likes? I'm not sure on my videos, but who cares about that? We need to but we need to talk about Lord of the Rings. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. I'm so sorry. Seriously, I've got nothing to do at the moment. So what I will do, hopefully, and I'm saying hopefully, I'll do it next year to review more. If I'm not, I'm so sorry. Review more of these internet archive sessions of Lord of the Rings 1984, 5 something, 6 of John Lee LeMessurier's playing one of the hobbits in the Lord of the Rings. BBC or BBC thing. So thank you much for watching. I'll see you next time. This is just another motive video. I'm so sorry. Ugh. Just do captions about it. But yeah, thank you much. And I'm so sorry. I know I probably didn't do a video about I'm saying that because I'm basically recording this when this is a thing at the moment. This is the anniversary of the ITV, and I don't know, I could probably do a YouTube short about it. I'm not sure. I'm just putting it out there. I didn't do it properly. I haven't done it yet, but I might do, I might not. So I'm sorry if I didn't do it properly. I'm not bothered. But thank you much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.